Hi, thank you for joining me for Sagittarius December Tarotscope. We've laid out the cards here. It's weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. I am using the Moon and Stars Tarot by Jane Wallace. And for the Oracle cards, I am using the Mystical Wisdom card deck by Gay Guthrie and Josephine Wall. So let's get going. In the very first week, we start out with the Five of Cups. This is a card of grief. This means that you have suffered a loss of some kind and you are trying to deal with it. Now, there is no time frame on grief. Whatever this was, whatever kind of loss this was, be it a death or a separation of some kind, you just have to deal with it in your own time. You have to allow yourself the grace to take the time you need to recover. And, you know, in many ways, it's just, there's no sense to it. There's no logic to it. It's an emotional healing. So you just have to allow it to come forward. And the next two cards are both queens. We have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Now the Queen of Swords is a slightly unemotional person, not slightly, she is unemotional, but she's very logical and she has a lot of wisdom and information that she can share with you, possibly to help you through your grief. She represents knowledge and the divine feminine. She has opinions that she will share. She also may allow you to find your own inner strength, to stand your ground, and she may be very blunt about your situation, but that may be helpful in your mood because you may find that some people are tiptoeing around things so much that it's hard to have a normal conversation. So it may be very refreshing to speak with the Queen of Wands, and of course she will be sympathetic to your situation. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, also an ambassador of the divine feminine. The Queen of Pentacles is a person who is very practical and down to earth, and she will encourage you to be the same. She's humble and modest. She nurtures all aspects of life. She's very grounded, and she's very, very connected to Mother Earth. And she will pass down all the wisdom that she possibly can about your situation that she knows about, but also she's going to encourage you to keep calm and to have a clear head. And any time that you're in a situation that causes you any kind of emotion or drama, to try to keep that to yourself so that you can not make matters worse and not get into too much emotional conundrum in your state of grief. Now, at the top of the second week, we have the card for death, which is release, also the Chariot and the Eight of Wands. So things are moving very quickly in the second week of December. So after the Death card, which is a card for release, and maybe not related actually to this card for grieving, it could be that you need to release something else in your life and you need to move on. And that's indicated by the Chariot. You do have a couple of decisions here that you need to make, and you need to think about your own priorities and your values and where you want your life to take you. And then you need to make the choice and go for it. And it will come with a great deal of speed. I usually interpret the Chariot as being a card of swift movement, but in addition to that, we have the Eight of Wands following it, which does indicate speed. So here is the Chariot, indicating progress and indicating that you're going to have to make a choice and you're going to have to go down that path with that choice. And here's the card for death, for release. So the second week is going to be a week of kind of conflicting interests. You have the release here, which maybe allows you to go on to making the decisions of the Chariot. And then we have a lot of things coming at you. You may be in high demand. You may be seeing lots of documents or lots of people coming into your life. Sometimes this card also means travel of some kind, and a lot of travel and high-speed travel. You could find yourself being kind of pulled out of this grief and mourning phase and into a very active phase of your life right now. Then we come to the third week, which starts with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups indicates a young person, somebody innocent and very pure, who is possibly trying to impress you by sharing secrets with you. They also could indicate a possible romantic partner. Relationships and friendships will always flourish when this card shows up. So you are getting messages that are telling you to trust your psychic instincts, to trust your hunches, and to stay the course of whatever you're trying to do. That there are other unseen forces at work that are trying to work for your best and highest good. This is also a card of luck. So you may be finding that there is luck coming to you and good results, but also remember to be kind to others when you see this card around, because you are lucky, so you should spread it around. Then we have the Queen of Wands. The subtitle for the Queen of Wands is Charisma. This is a social butterfly queen. This is the queen who also represents women in your life who are very busy. They know everybody's business. Like I said, they're very social, and they are the hub of the social activities that's going on in and around you right now. Now this is happening in the third week, and the other two queens were happening in the first week. So with this queen, then we also see the Ten of Wands. So the third week is an interesting week. The third week is a week where you're going to be in a lot of social situations, and they become a burden. It just becomes too much work to keep up with all of the social interactions that you're being asked to keep up with. You may, however, have someone who really cares for you, or is somebody who just wants to impress you, also happening or coming into your circle in that third week, along with the Queen of Wands. So a very interesting cast of characters for the third week. It will be interesting to see how that really plays out. In the fourth week, we have the Six of Pentacles. And this is the card, it's labeled kindness, but it is the card for generosity. So you are giving to others, others are giving to you. So in the fourth week, you're finding that you're interacting more with people. People are also still giving to you, and you're still taking from them, but you're also giving back to them. So it's not just you in your state of grief being given all this comfort and solace. You're also sharing with others at this point in time. As evidenced by the Four of Swords, which is the card for recuperation. So you are recovering, you are coming out of your grief state, and you are realizing that there is life after whatever the loss was in the first week. And even if this death was an actual person dying, you have come through this process pretty well. Now you may still be, if it is a death, you're probably still grieving even after 4 weeks. You'll probably be grieving for quite some time. But if it isn't an actual death and it was something that you did release during the eclipse, then this Four of Swords card is telling you, take a little more time for that recuperation. And once you do, you probably will have enough time and mental energy to go back into your mind, go back into past relationships, think about the past a little bit. You may even be visited by somebody from the past in the month of December. Communicating with people from the past may also give you a sense of comfort right now, Sagittarius. So don't ignore this. Dwelling on the past isn't a bad thing. And because you have had this loss come into your life, it's very likely that you will be visited by people from the past, people who live at a distance from you, who are coming to you and sharing stories or sharing information and connecting with you in some way, not only to help you, but to help them. They may also be grieving in a way. So that is the tarot card portion of the reading. Now let's look at your oracle card, which is self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. Now, Sag, I don't know when you've ever been afraid to fly solo, but you do really enjoy people because you are pretty social. But you could be social in any country on the globe, and you would probably make a friend. So let's look at this. It says, you have the courage and fortitude to lovingly assert yourself and your point of view. By doing so, you gain respect and support from your friends, family, and colleagues. It takes boldness and integrity to stand up for yourself and be counted, especially when no one else is supporting you. Trust yourself and value your own opinions and judgment. Flying solo is a challenge that takes courage and confidence. This is your road to freedom. Become lion-hearted and know that your best protection is your own spine. And your mantra is, if it is to be, it is up to me. All right, That is your reading, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I hope you have a wonderful month of December. I hope you have a fabulous holiday season. I will be thinking about you. And until next time, I'm just going to say farewell.